Listen, we are talking about building divine momentum. This is part two, all right? We did a part one. This is part two. We're talking about engineering momentum. We're going to do a part three and a part four, which is going to be all about engineering your energy. Engineering energy. We're going to be talking about not just time management, but energy management. So basically, meaning there are certain times of day, right, where you know you are the most charged up. There are certain times of day where you know that you have the highest energy levels, the most focus, and you want to create or cut out power blocks or time blocks. And you want to align the times of day where you know you have the most energy with the most important tasks or with the most important. Listen, we are talking about building divine momentum. All right, this is part two. We're talking about engineering momentum. And we're going to be doing a part three and a part four to this, which is going to be all about engineering not just momentum, but engineering the energy for momentum. All right, we're going to be talking about designing in architecture. We're going to be talking about designing systems and habits in your everyday routine that make for quality energy, quality output, high performance, knowing how when to recharge and to reset so that you continue to maintain and sustain that energy for the high performance without getting burnout. There's a lot of key factors that play into this, and we're going to be talking about, identifying the times of day where you know you have the highest energy levels, the times of day where you know you're the most focused, and you want to align those times of day where you have the most important tasks at hand because you want to have the highest energy levels when you're doing your most important tasks because and this is how you cut out or you create power blocks or time blocks, and this is how you structure and you systemize your day so that you have the most quality performance and you have the best results. All right, all of this is going to play into being able to engineer and sustain momentum so that you have enough driving force to break through and to get whatever you're building off of the ground. We're going to be talking more about that tomorrow with energy management. Okay, now momentum, right? If you guys have not watched part one, go watch part one. It's called Building Divine Momentum. Momentum is not motivation, but it's motion that's governed by structure. Hello, somebody. So, amateurs and people who don't really know what they're doing, they chase inspiration and they obey God or they perform based on how they feel that day. But it's just kind of random and sporadic, but it's not structured, and that's why their lives are chaotic. High performers engineer systems that keep them moving regardless of emotion or how they feel. So once motion becomes mechanical and systematic, momentum becomes inevitable. So every high performer, they design rhythm into their workflow. Which, if you don't know what I mean by this, stay tuned because I'm going to be explaining this more in depth in the next two parts of this. All right. So they know the cost of starting from zero each day. Their systems preserve their velocity by eliminating the need for emotional ignition. So momentum, it compounds through consistency. Now, when feedback loops reward small progress, identity shifts from effort into execution. Now, a feedback loop is a cycle where action creates data, and now you reflect and you examine and you grab the data. Now the data creates insight on what's working, what's not. When you notice your energy levels arise and when they lower, this data, it allows you to see where your system might need some redesigning, where you might need improvement or adjustment, and so that insight now shapes the next action. Okay, every repetition with a strong system in place should strengthen confidence because progress eventually becomes self-verifying. It builds self-esteem. So high performers, they use this momentum as leverage. They stack these micro wins and these micro habits until the weight of evidence makes hesitation impossible because you're starting to see the results. So when you're seeing results, you're no longer going to hesitate or procrastinate because you're like, oh shoot, this is actually working. And that momentum starts to also fuel you with even more energy to keep you inspired and passionate about what you're doing. Um, Jake Smolarek, he said, momentum turns competence into conviction through relentless proof. This is profound. So, according to one repeated measure study, individuals who connected identity reinforcement with their daily behavior, they were significantly more likely to sustain performance routines over a period of time. So, the findings revealed that when your belief systems they integrate with action, consistency, it compounds into that momentum. So, it proves that discipline. Watch this. This is profound. It's going to give you an even broader or different perspective on discipline. Discipline is self-identity in execution. Remember when I talked about in the first video of building divine momentum, I talked about how you have to be in alignment with, you have to have identity coherence, which basically means that your identity, really knowing who you are, like what you were created for here in the earth, your core values and your purpose, they all reflect your daily actions and decision making. So stepping into the role of this identity and having this identity in execution in your everyday life, this is what discipline really is. Come on here, somebody. So momentum collapses when systems lack calibration, the ability to examine and to adjust and to approve. So if feedback is too slow, motivation dies before the progress is registered. And so to maintain speed, every loop that you have, because you guys know I talk all the time about mental and emotional looping when trauma is involved. So you can create good loops when you have the right habits in place that are actually leading toward obedience and purpose. Now, every loop is supposed to deliver proof of movement and progress and productivity in real time. This is not just being hyper busy and doing random things to look like you're doing something, but productivity, it's going to be making the action, taking the actions and making the decisions every day, taking the steps every day that actually lead towards something meaningful and purposeful. So every looping behavior you have shouldn't be connected to trauma or fear, safety or avoidance. It should be connected to the next step or decision that's aligned with your purpose and your goals. Come on here, somebody. So momentum engineering, it requires balance between friction and freedom. So basically meaning too much structure, right? Like say, for example, you want to have order in a church. But if your order becomes so much control to where you're not allowing people to move freely in their anointing, you're not allowing people to progress, right? Then it becomes suppressive. So too much structure, it breeds stagnation because God, for example, might be wanting you to adjust or adapt to something. So too much structure can turn into pride and resistance toward your adjusting. But too little structure creates chaos and leaks in your foundation. I hope that makes sense to y'all. So the performer's art, it lies in calibrating control without suffocating creativity, meaning you want to have a grip on what you're building, but the control should not turn into something that's hindering your ability to adapt and to adjust over time. So the key is rhythm management. So you build a cycle of push, pause, and recalibrate, which basically just means to adjust or fine tune something for better functioning. Amen. Now, when I say rhythm management, and again, we're going to get more into explaining all of this stuff in depth and in detail in the next couple videos that I do. But your rhythm, right? So when I talk about energy management and knowing you have certain power blocks or time blocks, like you have your certain times of day where you know you're at peak performance. When you're at your peak performance, that's when you want to be doing the tasks that are most important. And then you know you have your times of day where you kind of go down a little bit, and you want to take those times of day to kind of recharge and reset. That might look like just taking a moment away from your work, playing with your kids. That might look like going for a walk. That might look like taking a moment to just listen to music. Maybe you just take a moment to just sit in the presence of God and just pray and just listen and reboot. And then you create these healthy cycles, right? Not talking about trauma cycles, but you create these routines throughout your day that allow you to put the most output, right? Like it's like, so you invest the most amount of energy in the most important tasks, but then you also have your time of day blocked out to where you recharge and you do something that has nothing to do with work so that you can avoid burnout. This is rhythm management. So your systems are designed around energy renewal, not exhaustion. It's compound performance across a period of time. So compound performance in business or in, leadership, ministry, it means that small, consistent, positive actions and improvements, when repeated over time, they build on each other to create significant and exponential growth. So it's much like compound interest in finance. It's about daily disciplines, not just big breakthroughs. The daily disciplines, they lead to the big breakthroughs. So leading to amplified results in areas like skill development, marketing, scaling your business, et cetera, et cetera. Now, momentum, it becomes the ultimate form of confidence because it doesn't depend on mood. When your process moves, regardless of how you feel, you've transcended just trying harder, and now you've engineered the inevitability for success. This is good. I want y'all to write this stuff down, and I want y'all to take this in on today. So momentum, it comes from taking initiative, having a clear role and vision to step into, and creating the proper systems and structures around that. Creating the strategies around that, testing, adjusting, improving quickly. Listen, I tell people this all the time. Now, the person who is able to go the farthest in life is going to be the person who's able to take correction and make the proper adjustments and improve quickly and often. The person who is able to change often. Now, when I say this, I do not mean double-mindedness, right? I don't mean double-mindedness, but what I mean by change often is the person who's able to look at their weaknesses, look at what's not working, and they're able to take accountability for it, and they're able to make the proper adjustments, and they're able to do this often as needed. That's the person who's going to grow, and their level of growth and the heights they're able to go to is going to have no limitations. And character traits that fuel momentum are curiosity, grit, and adaptability. You have to be mentally agile. Now, grit is going to be, like that. It's going to have to do with that ferociousness, that tenacity, your ability to, I guess, for lack of better words, I want to say get down and dirty with it. I mean, you have the ability to do what needs to be done under pressure, under stress, no matter what. And curiosity, it allows you to look at possibilities, look at opportunities, even in negative situations. Curiosity allows you to broaden your perspective. It allows you to change your perception. Curiosity, it opens up the realm of creativity and innovation. Curiosity also opens up the door for you to be able to look and be like, why is this happening? Why was I making progress, or why was I not making progress? And based off of collecting that data, you're able to adjust over a period of time. A lot of people don't have this mental agility because they just want to continue functioning how they've always functioned. And that's always going to slow them down from building up enough momentum. And I mean the type of momentum that has enough of a power source that's able to break through the ceiling that's been keeping you capped. All right. I hope this video can help you all out. I want y'all to take notes and listen. The next two videos are going to be vital, and I think they're going to be even better and more revelatory than these first two. We're going to go into depth and detail on energy management, how to generate, how to recover, all right, how to conserve energy, how to engineer it. And there's going to be many details that go into this that most of you have probably not even paid attention to before. It's going to be profound. Stay tuned. I love y'all. And come on, let's get it.